Respected fratres and sorors, dear colleagues and friends, welcome to our start of the year session for 2026. Firstly, I would need to thank all of you who have joined us today and who joined us last week. And all I can say about what happened last week is that we should adopt the mystical attitude to circumstances and challenges like that, which is maybe it is good or maybe it is bad. And I can tell you it was for our own good, because now we are able to complete the work we prepared last week. And so there's always a silver or gold lining behind all things. So welcome, and we are very pleased to have you again join us. Your time, your commitment, your support is warmly received and appreciated. So we gather at the beginning of a new calendar year. We gather once again within the sanctified space of consciousness, clothed in stillness and crowned with intention. And of course, we remain illumined by the ever-present light of the cosmic. At the close of the previous year, we did find time. We found a time to pause and review. We reviewed and we gave thanks and gratitude, and we created room by letting go. We let go of a lot of things that you may have written out. And today we return not to repeat, but to proceed. We return to advance together. We stood at the threshold between what had been and what was yet to be. Neither rushing forward nor clinging backward, but resting in a sacred awareness. And as we return now to proceed, let us share in this moment, which is a gift for the new year. As we begin this new year, I would like to offer you something meaningful. Not a prediction, not a resolution, but a gift. A gift that if you accept it and work with it, can accompany you not only through this year, but through life itself. The gift is twofold. First, the ability for you to develop a personal philosophy of life and living. Second, the formulation of your own personal ritual or inner exercise. And lastly, the ability for you to understand that philosophy shapes how you grow, how you develop, and how you understand things. Ritual, on the other hand, shapes how you embody that philosophy. So why does philosophy matter? So there is a difference between thinking you know something and actually knowing it. I do not merely think that developing a personal philosophy of life and living is important. I know it. It is not a slogan or a borrowed quote. You may learn from others and their personal philosophy of life and living, but you will need to, over time, over personal research, learning and improvement and adaptation, formulate your own working personal philosophy of life, which, yes, you would have borrowed from others. Yes, others could provide to you. But more importantly, you are to take what you have received from others, develop, improve, adapt your own personal philosophy of life and living. Because it is a living framework that helps you in your response to challenge, in interpreting the vicissitudes of life, the ups and downs, and navigating your way. It is your ethical compass, decision making, especially when under pressure. From time immemorial, across African, Egyptian, Hermetic, Vedic, and many mystical traditions, three truths return again and again. One is that meaning precedes action. The second, time is sacred and cyclical. The third, ritual is not superstition. It is a technology of attunement. Observe, discern, attune, repeat, refine. They constitute the inner operating system, the universal algorithm beneath all authentic rites, initiations, and practices. So to formulate your philosophy, you need to begin with the first fundamental phase, which is observation. Daily stillness must be imbibed, and so you can practice inviting yourself and inviting others into the silence. The observation of your thoughts, your emotions, your habits, and the patterns that you weave through your thoughts, your words, and your conduct. You will need to be able to evaluate what moves you toward harmony and what fractures that balance, which we need to rebuild daily. Phase 2 will be about reflection to distinguish what is life-giving experiences, what are neutral experiences, and what are life-draining experiences. And from daily into weekly, you begin to discover that morality, ethical behavior and conduct, transformation is not imposed upon you, but attained. You then go on to the other phase, which is to do with choice. Being able to define your ethical constitution, your ethical grounding, your ethical behavior. And you'll be able to come up with 3 to 5 non-negotiable values that will form your personal philosophy. You may start with these 3 to 5 and it will evolve, drop off, return, change, and all of that is part of your journey. You begin to form practices which you will have to consistently, consciously, and continually maintain. You will start recognizing behaviors you need to let go of. Of attunement. You want to embody the daily, the discipline in speech, the most precious gift of time, how to use it valuably, how to ensure that every interaction, every relationship you form, you have rules for them and you have boundaries set. This is where philosophy becomes life. And once you've imbibed this philosophy into your living, you come to realize that philosophy alone is not enough. So it needs to be embedded into your being. And ritual is how thought becomes lived experience. Ritual needs to be clarified because unfortunately it's misconceived and it's a word with a meaning today that has been misused, abused, commercialized, trivialized, and demonized. Ritual is not superstition or theater. It is how meaning becomes lived experience. Unconscious ritual will enslave you, but conscious ritual liberates and provides to you the mechanism for operating individually. It is a technology, intention and action, a disciplined practice of attunement. It's a method for transition and renewal. Most important of all is meaning you form for it, the diligence, the faith with works, the faith with knowledge, for which you practice conscientiously your own ritual. That's the meaning that matters the most. So, how do you formulate your personal ritual? Your ritual may be daily or weekly, the morning and the evening. It could include the afternoon. You could form habits that will become part and parcel of you in being still or calm, in reflective or reflection practices, reviewing your day, reviewing your actions, reviewing your thoughts, and making modifications, small progress every day, bit by bit. It could just be about intention. And that intention is not good enough until you apply a foundational, critical, essential, scientific knowledge of how to go about it in practice daily. It will adapt to seasons, to your challenges, and to the transitions that is in your journey. You will need to be consistent. You will need to be determined, be resolute. You would need to be generous and kind. You would need to involve the benefits beyond the self. You would need to be positive. I want to reference or take your mind for those who know about this gentleman, British gentleman, who passed away a few years ago, Roald Dahl, written several children books, and now they are adapting his stories on various media platforms. And if you remember this story, for those who know, to look it up, it's very, very profitable. 41 minutes adaptation. You can find it on some of the video outlets. It's a book, a short book, really small and short story, The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar. The emphasis here is on applying the knowledge you've received and diligently applying it consistently and conscientiously. You will be able to achieve a high level of personal and collective transformation, constantly adapt. Please refer to the Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar as you form your personal ritual and practice. So here it is, a rule of life for the year. A freely adopted structure for conduct, reflection, and attunement, where discipline is the price of freedom and attunement is the source of peace. To establish your rhythm daily, monthly, quarterly. Daily, it would help you with your orientation. Monthly, it will help you with your recalibration. And quarterly, you have the chance to modify your orientation and your recalibration so that you are reoriented towards learning and improving. Because time shapes us intentionally, not unconsciously. So no one advances alone. At least we know eventually no one advances alone. And as we say with the African proverb, if you want to go fast, you go alone. But if you want to go far, you go together. In the African wisdom, the drum does not beat for one dancer. It beats for the village. Each conscious step you take strengthens the whole circle. And so now, fratres and sorrows, dear colleagues and friends, we have opened the path. We now enter its heart. This is the moment of mystical exercise, meditation, and attunement. Please remain present, remain receptive, fade gently into silence, because this is an attunement for the opening of the path for our annual calendar. This is the gathering of our collective awakened steps. This is the moment when the drumbeat of destiny calls to each of us by name. And in the wisdom of our African ancestors, the year does not merely begin, it awakens. Just as the rooster does not crow before the sky is ready to hear it, so the soul must not move before it is inwardly prepared. In our villages of old in Africa, elders would rise before dawn, touch the earth, greet the four directions, and ask silently, are we in harmony with the seen and the unseen? And so it is with us now. We stand at the dawn of a new calendar year. And so the earth beneath us has turned. The rivers have continued their ancient journeys. The winds have carried prayers, spoken and unspoken. And the ancestors, those who walked this path before us, lean closer, listening. This attunement we are about to commence is therefore not hurried. It is deliberate. It is reverent. It is grounded. For in African mysticism, movement without consciousness is noise. But movement with awareness becomes power. Radiance is the rekindled inner fire, and it is not a decoration, it is not appearance, it is not the borrowed light of titles, garments, or positions. Radiance is the inner fire that survives the night. It is the light that remained within you when the year tested your patience, your faith, your endurance. It is the glow that did not go out when the challenges became disguised as lessons, and the lessons arrived clothed as trials. As we completed our last cycle, annual cycle, we acknowledged where our radiance dimmed and where it intensified. Radiance is thus and therefore the posture of the prepared soul. It is linked to readiness. Readiness is not about anxiety or causing anxiety. It is not about restlessness or feeling restless. It is not about being impatient for outcomes. Readiness is rather posture, is the calm stance of the hunter who has purified their intention and in the steady breath of the priestess before the invocation. Readiness is the silence of the drum just before the first strike. So to be ready for our year is to have cleared inner pathways so that when the cosmic sends instruction, the soul responds without confusion. As we step into this new year, we do not ask merely for success. We ask for fitness of character. We ask that our thoughts be refined, our emotions disciplined, and our actions brought into noble simplicity. For the African initiate knows this truth. The road favors the traveler whose feet are clean. Readiness, therefore, is directly related to purification. Readiness is conscious preparation. Readiness is the quiet confidence that says, I have done my inner work and I am open to what must now unfold. Because none will advance eventually alone. Even the tallest Iroko tree did not grow without the soil, the rain, the sun, and time. In our African cosmology, isolation weakens power, but community amplifies it. This is why our attunement is not going to be on the individual level alone. It will be collective. And as we advance together, fratres and sorrows, dear friends, dear colleagues, bound by shared light, shared discipline, and shared responsibility, let each step you take strengthen the circle. Each conscious choice you make stabilize the whole, so that when one heart refines itself, the entire order breathes easier. So as we advance with compassion and not competition. We advance with humility and not pride. We advance with discernment and not haste. Recollect, the African drum doesn't beat for one dancer alone. It beats for the village. Fratres and sorrows, dear colleagues, dear friends, having opened the path and consciously crossed into the new cycle, which is the new calendar year, 2026, we now enter the heart of this sacred gathering with a mystical exercise and meditation that attunes us and anchors us in radiance and readiness. Advancing together within your innermost being, it will not be an exercise of using your imagination alone. It is a living act of communion with the cosmic, with the ancestral stream of wisdom, and with the collective consciousness of the order of the cosmos. Let all external distractions now fade into stillness as we prepare our temple, our inner sanctuary within. Please sit or stand upright with your back straight, dignified and at ease. Let your spine be erect as the sacred staff of authority. Rest your feet firmly upon the ground, in the earth as mother. Place your hands gently upon your laps or your knees, or your hands joined softly together in front of your solar plexus. Close your eyes if possible. Now take 3 slow and deliberate breaths. Positive deep breath. As you breathe in with the first breath, hold a thought of light within and around you. So as you gently breathe out, release the weight and let go of the past cycle. With the second deep breath, you breathe in through your nose, as deep as you can go, and hold it. Let that light bring forth the life within you, the fire and warmth, the radiance of life. So as you exhale and breathe out slowly, quiet the mind of the expectations we're about to share in. Now with the third final breath, as you breathe deeply in, gradually, deep breath, hold it. That light and life bring about the trans, so that as you gently exhale out, you invite the presence of the cosmic in and around you. Body relaxing, or at least parts of your body. You are relaxed, you are still. The emotions settle like calm waters. Feel the mind grow receptive and clear as we repeat the words of the celestial sanctum invocation. May the divine essence of the cosmic infuse our beings and cleanse us of all impurities of our mind and body, so we may enter into our celestial sanctum in pureness and worthiness. So mote it be. Now, direct your thoughts and concentrate. Bring your awareness to the center of your chest area, your heart center. Visualize there a sacred drum, ancient and living, crafted not out of wood and skin, but of light and consciousness. These generations sounded by who walked the path of illumination before you. At first, the drum is silent, and then gradually and gently, you can inwardly hear a single beat. This beat is the rhythm of your life force. It is the order of the cosmos. It is the rhythm of the cosmic breath. With each heartbeat, the drum grows clearer, steadier, and more luminous. Do not force the rhythm and allow it to establish itself naturally. As the drum sounds, affirm silently. The affirmation that your inner rhythm is now restored. The affirmation that you move now in harmony with cosmic law. And with this luminous, glowing drum that beats to the rhythm of your existence, visualize yourself at the threshold, the sacred African pit of fire, the hearth where we all sit around in the center of the compound, embers never allowed to die completely. Even after the longest night, a careful hand stirs the ashes and hidden fire responds. So too within each of us, beneath the ashes of fatigue, disappointment, or uncertainty, there remains a living spark. This attunement gently stirs that spark. Let it grow, not in haste, but in strength. At this point, feel a swelling at the crown of your own head. So you visualize a column of radiant light descending gently like the first sunlight of dawn touching the savannah. This light enters through the crown of your head, flows through the forehead, the throat, the heart, the solar plexus, and continues downward, anchoring itself deep within the earth beneath you. You are now a living bridge between the seen and unseen. This is radiance made active. Remain aware of this column of light. Do not analyze it. Simply be within it. Now sense a gentle presence behind you, supportive, calm, and ancient. This presence places upon your shoulders a symbolic mantle woven of wisdom, discipline, and inner clarity. It is light, yet very powerful. It does not burden you as it is placed on your shoulders. It stabilizes you. It restores and rebalances your being. And as this mantle settles, silently repeat within the depths of your being, I am inwardly prepared. . I respond with clarity and discernment. Feel your being assume the posture of readiness. Now, become aware not only of yourself, but of all fratres and sorrows, friends and colleagues participating in this attunement. Visualize each one of them as a point of gentle light. These points of light begin to connect, forming a vast circle of radiance, a sacred cosmic design, an inner circle of illumination and consciousness. No one stands above another, and no one stands apart. At the flame of the order of the cosmos. And now, as one circle, mentally, quietly, silently repeat within the depths of your being. We advance together. We uphold one another in light. The cosmic purpose. Feel the strength of that unity. Feel of shared advancement. For this is the collective attunement of advancing together. Offer gratitude to the God of our hearts, the God of your deepest understanding and realization. Remain in complete inner silence. Do not attempt to seek words. Do not seek visions. Allow the cosmic to impress upon you, on your consciousness, exactly what is needed for you in this new cycle of existence. Gently, gradually, subtly, effortlessly, smoothly bring awareness back to your heart center. And try to move your consciousness, your concentration to that part of your being where the inner drum slows but does not stop. The column of light remains but softens. The mantle of readiness now stays with you as we together recite the closing words for our celestial sanctum attunement. May the God of our hearts sanctify this attunement of self with the celestial sanctum. So mote it be. Fratres and sorors, dear friends and colleagues, please know that this attunement continues beyond this moment. It will express itself through your thoughts, your choices, your restraints, and your service throughout this year. Take one final deep breath and gradually recognize your objective environment and become conscious of your objective self. In African mysticism, every beginning is sealed, not with noise, but with consciousness. This attunement therefore seals your intention to live this year awake, aware, responsive, and inwardly luminous. It seals your willingness to listen before acting, to observe before judging, and to serve without losing your center. Respected fratres and sorors, dear colleagues and friends, the cosmic supports sincerity. This year has opened its eyes, and you have been attuned. You have been prepared. You have been joined. Carry this radiance quietly. Maintain this readiness consciously. Advance together deliberately. And always remember, when the inner drum is rightly tuned, the dance of life becomes sacred. And when the soul is attuned, the year itself becomes an ally. May this year, 2026, recognize you as one who walks deliberately, and may your steps be few but meaningful. May your silence speak wisdom, and may your actions carry light. So mote it be.
As the sunrise always has for me.